What's up, you guys? It's Julian. Today you requested it, and I'm going to be showing you how to make trance like Ben Hemsley. I used my Ultimate Trance Kits pack. Links at the top of the description for that. I use that to make this. It's kit 5 in the pack. Thanks for the support, everybody. Make sure to grab that, and let's get started. Alright, so we're at 138 BPM. First thing we got up here is this little ambient lead. So what's going on here is we're in the key of E minor. So we're basically just, if I turn off all the reverb and delay, we're just basically walking down from the 3rd to the 9th to the root, and then that 5th up there. Right, so very basic voices inside of the scale, but it's really more about this rhythm, and also if you listen, it plays off of the other lead really well, as well as the bass line. Right, you can hear these all really working together well. So this is made with wavetable. It is this real voice wavetable, a little bit of the sub oscillator, and then this digi piano. You can see I got a low pass filter there, and then we have the matrix looks like this. So I got a little bit of amp envelope on the filter frequency. I've got a little bit of this envelope 2 and envelope 3 on oscillator 1. And then a tiny bit of the LFO on the pitch, which is doing more than you would think. If I turn that completely off, you know, it's really like straight. Right, and then we bring it in and you get that nice buzzy kind of trance lead. Then we got a bit of noise unison. I've got some chorus, and then comes in the echo and the reverb. Right, this one's really ambient. It's just really in the background. I've also got a little bit of saturator and drum bus on it, so if I turn those off, you can hear they kind of beef it up a little. But yeah, this just is really in the background. It's meant to just give the whole track some nice ambience. And these kinds of really ambient things move nicely against the bass line too. I've noticed that in these tracks, like a lot of times you'll have the bass line changing keys while this is just really washed out and dreamy over top like that. We got this being cut, like we're cutting out the low end, and then I got this auto pan to make it bounce off of the kick like it's being sidechained. Then we got our main lead. So this is our pattern, right? This is actually very similar to the last pattern. It's pretty much the same voices, that root, 9th, 3rd, 5th. I just added a 6th here at the beginning. And it's sort of like this call and response. It's like you have the call, and then the response. So this one, as far as the sound goes, is made with Ableton's analog. It's using this little trick you can do only in analog, where you can see these each have individual pitch envelopes. So what you can do is you can have a saw wave, and you can have another saw wave here. It could be any waveform, but I'm using saws here, where one is pitching sort of into the other one. It's like it goes up in pitch into that. And that's that weird sort of whomp you hear at the start of every sound. If I turn it off, there you go. So it's almost like you have that detuned super saw trance thing, but now it's like moving over time essentially. That's all that's doing. Then we get the amp envelope looking like this, pretty short. I've got a bit of unison, a bit of glide as well, which you can see it's on the legato mode, so you get that like sliding with everything. Then we have a bit of delay and reverb, just big, trancey, in your face, super wide too with the ping pong. I got a bit of pedal here for distortion. Here's without it. With it. You can hear what it does. It gives it a lot of really nice texture and kind of fattens it up a little bit. I've got a high pass filter and then this auto pan to make it bounce off the kick. Then we got our pad. Which might seem kind of complicated. Basically what's happening here is we actually have like a C major chord, but I've taken the 5th and put it down an octave. Which, again, we're in the key of E minor, that would be the relative major, right, to E minor. So it's like you're kind of getting these like melodic movements here where you have everything in E minor, but then this pad is very like major. Right, so it's kind of like creating a pad, almost like how it works with the melody rather than just having it be a chord progression. So, you know, you can see here 5th, 6th, 5th, 3rd, 6th, right? So we're just using those voices to basically create some chords here. Now, for the sound here, if I turn off all the effects, it sounds like this. Right, so we're starting with this, just a saw wave, and then it's just super unison out. That's literally all it is. We're just using a wavetable to just get a really, really unison saw wave. Then I have a high pass filter to make it nice and get rid of some of that like boom that was in there, right? Then we have this utility and this shaper, and these are creating the trance gate. You can see what I've done is I've drawn in the trance gate pattern into the shaper here, and then I've got it on this half notes so that it does it right with the right like speed, and then it's going to the gain on this utility. And there you go, you can create your own trance gate this way. Then you just have to play around like with the offset and stuff, because if it's too high, see, it'll just go all the way up. So you got to put that at the right settings. Then we got a little bit of reverb, high pass, and then just this fake sidechain. And the reason I like using the auto pan to do the sidechain instead of actually sidechaining is like with these kind of trancey tracks, you can get it a bit cleaner and a bit more like controlled, which I think works really well with these very like clean, polished sort of tracks. So then we got our kick and bass. Right, you can hear just really, really fat trance kick. Like almost like a classic trance sort of kick, and then I've just pitched it up one. Then we got our bass line. So for the bass, it's playing the chord progression, which in this case is, again, we're in E minor, but we're walking down to it. We're going 6, 4, and then root. So it's like, right. And then it's just on those upbeats like that. So now, for the sound on this one, what's happening is we got 2 layers inside of this instrument rack. This one, which is just a saw wave and a triangle wave. I've got a low pass filter with a short envelope on it. You know, really punchy and plucky. And that's it. And then we have this one, which is very similar. You can see it's just 2 saw waves, but they've got a bunch of unison on them. And I've high passed that one as well, so you kind of get just the stuff that you want to be stereo, and then you layer them together, and then you get this. And then the last thing I have here is this utility, just converting the bass to mono below 500 hertz. It cleans it up a little, especially when you're doing stuff like this with 2 different layers that have a crossover frequency. So then we got our drums. So the drums and the bass line, I really like to fit together, because you can hear, like, if you play these, they're very bright and just really in the mids and the highs. They're not really, like, going to clash with that bass, right? So you kind of treat this all as one. And then for these sounds, you really just want some stuff in the mid-range and highs. Like, we got this clap. Really short 909 hi-hat too. I've noticed like a really short punchy one. Kind of works better for this. And then just some rave loops. You know, like some of these live kind of housey percussions that you can't really program. Put it all together, and there you are. So that's gonna be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, I made this using Ultimate Trance Kits. The link to that is at the top of the description. Make sure to grab that. It helps support me a lot. Thanks for the support, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.